I was listening to some commentary that Town Biz did about the Chad Wheeler situation as it pertained to what happened with him, his girlfriend, and the response or the lack of the response that it would have gotten had Chad Wheeler been a black man. Now, this is just a stock image right here. You can tell that this is a stock image because it has the little logo watermarks all over the picture. But this is actually to drive my point for what I'm talking about. If you've noticed that in the course of the recent times, whenever a black woman is attacked, mainly physically, if it's done by a black man or a black male, the hashtag or the phrase "protect black women" always comes up. Like recently, the woman in Harlem, the one at the liquor store, the one also in New York who got hit in the face with that skateboard, Ray Rice and Janae Rice, their situation, and several others. There was another one that I couldn't think of. It was another one that I really couldn't formulate in my head at the moment, but there was another one I was going to use as an example, and so many others. However, on the flip side, whenever that black woman is attacked or abused by someone who is not black, or in this case with Chad Wheeler, someone who is white, that hashtag or the response to the incident is very different. And as far as the hashtag or the phrase "protect black women," it never ever comes up. Now that's why I'm using this picture right here, because there's a narrative that is put out there that when black women are being attacked or verbally abused or whatever, and it's a black man, he's the ultimate boogeyman out of all men. Like, he's the scariest man on earth out of every group of men. But if another man does it, that hashtag or that phrase never seems to come to the surface. And I've always noticed that it never ever happens. And it's a reason for that. Every time something like this happens, there's always going to be a reason behind it. Because I've always seen these false stats come up from various channels talking about how a lot of abuse comes from black men, and that's why black women leave and everything like that. You even had people who will go out of their way to dance around what Chad Wheeler did and still bring it back onto black men and what they're not doing or not doing enough of. But then will be the same ones to say black men are the boogeyman or some of the worst men on the planet because they don't have this, they don't have this, they don't have that like a white man, they don't have this like a white man, not realizing that white man is the reason why we don't have a lot of stuff we have today, including you. But look at what this palm-colored man named Chad Wheeler gave to his girlfriend. I still have to call her girlfriend because as far as we know, we haven't heard if she broke up with him. He gave her a choke out, a bloody nose, bruising, almost caused her to die. Thought he did kill her. When he said, "Oh, you're still alive." Like, he actually went back and began to continue eating his food before checking on her because he really thought that he had killed her. But notice no mainstream media outlet is really talking about it in the way that I am or Town Biz is, or anybody who is not dancing around him to bring it back onto black men. You don't see ESPN talking about it. You don't see Fox Sports 1 talking about it. Like, and if they are, they gave a little blip on the radar, or they gave him cover. We still don't even know this woman's name, but maybe that's a good thing that we don't. But we've seen the pictures. We've gotten the details. And look at all the other abuse. Sorry about that, but look at all the other abuse that a lot of NFL players or other athletes in various other sports, what they have done to their spouses. They don't blow those stories up like that. Like, look at Josh Brown, who used to be the kicker for the New York Giants a few years ago. Instead of kicking the ball on the field, he was at home kicking his wife's ass while their children were in the house, and you can hear it on the other end of the call of his kids begging to their dad to stop abusing their mother in the 911 call. And I think that's what sped up or led up to him being fired, even though I don't think they wanted to initially let him go, even though they had proof and audio of what he was doing. You don't hear about that anymore. But they'll still talk about Ray Rice and his now wife, Janae Rice. Every chance they get, they'll bring it up somehow, some way. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought up Ray Rice situation while this Chad Wheeler thing was going on. I wouldn't be surprised, because they have to reach back and pull that one out. And they'll skip over what Josh Brown did and go right to Ray Rice. Even though with Ray Rice and his wife, theirs was caught on camera. Guess who else had some audio? Josh Brown. We may not have seen it, but we could definitely hear it. But like I said, society has made and deemed black men to be the boogeyman, and unfortunately too many black women have bought into that as well. And then they slap the hashtag or the phrase protect black women whenever a black man abuses or somehow attacks them, and then that's when it comes out. But when it comes from every other group of men who goes after them or attacks them, that phrase is hardly ever to be found. Not saying that it isn't found or attached, but it's never hard. We rarely ever see it. From my standpoint, from my viewpoint, y'all can let me know down in the comments if you've seen it pop up anywhere else when a situation like this has occurred. And it doesn't have to be a domestic thing where it's a person in a relationship. It can be like what happened in Harlem, or like what happened also in New York with that skateboard. You rarely ever see it. And then when the phrase protect black women comes into play and a black man does, protect, it gets taken for granted or taken advantage of. Such as, remember a couple years ago, I think it was in Chicago, where those black women had went to that that nail salon, and a black man went up in there and was talking about how they were being racist to the customers there and treating them all types of ways. And he came in there with that brick and threw the brick through the window and everything like that. The store had to board up the damages that he did. He went right back the next day. And who did he find sitting in those same exact chairs from the day before? The exact day before. Maybe not the same black woman from the day before, but it was another set of black women. So even when black women tell black men or ask them, can you protect us, or we need your protection, and it's done, it's still taken advantage of. And that is another reason as to why many black men back away from the situation altogether and let black women do their thing, even though it might be more of a hindrance to them than a benefit. They figure they're causing a hindrance to themselves even when they ask for protection. So let me just go ahead and back away and just be done with it altogether. That black man felt like, I think not only did he feel disappointed that day, but he felt embarrassed, because he probably had a lot of people clowning him online. It was people believing that you had some people that was supporting what he did, but you had a lot of people, a lot of black people, a lot of other black men that was clowning him and saying, how can you be such a fool? How can you be such a simp to do something like that and risk your freedom or having to catch charges for these women that probably wouldn't do the same for you? And I bet he felt that he probably was felt in that same exact way when he went back and saw them there in a boarded up nail salon. He did that when he felt to do on their behalf, and look at how he felt betrayed. Another example, and this time in another state, at a beauty supply store. And y'all know what story I'm going with this. You had that Asian store owner get into it with this black woman, put his hands on her and beat her ass, had her leaking. Caught on camera, caught on video. Video went viral. He was scared to lose business. So what did he do? He threw up a 50% off sale sign all over his windows, all over the store. It went out on social media. Then you had a whole line of black women come in that day, a line come in to get that sale. Meanwhile, on the other side of the store, you had black men who looked like they all could have been old enough to be their fathers, telling them not to go into that store, to boycott it, buy from your own, or buy online, or just find another store to go to. Then you had that one light-skinned chick, yes, I said light-skinned it on purpose, who came out there wagging her finger, rolling her neck, and flapping her gums, telling them that they can't tell them what to do. You're not my dad. You're not my man. So go to F somewhere else and leave us alone. You can't tell black women what to do. And just the loudest one in the group for no reason. For no reason. She came at that man who was old enough to be her dad for no reason other than to show how much of a female dog she really is. Like, you can go online and look up the video. I would say it's embarrassing, but at this point, I think it's par for the course. And there's so many other countless examples. So when that hashtag or that phrase protect black women comes up, that's why a lot of people don't take it seriously. Because of the examples I just gave you. And then back to that one in the beauty supply store in that other state. Y'all must be glutton for punishment. I mean, how many stories have we seen where black women got treated or mistreated in these Asian-owned stores, nail salons, beauty supply stores? They lock the doors and accuse you of stealing and keep you from leaving. That's like a hostage. And then when you try to leave, they fight you. I remember seeing a video a couple years ago in New York where they got into it with these black women at a nail salon store or a nail salon. One of the workers there took some nail remover, which is nothing more than an alcohol-based solution, and sprayed it in the woman's face because she tried to accuse her of not paying. And then they started to fight the women in there, the customers who were black, picking up broomsticks and hitting them with it. Like, it's a video on that too. Now, when I said it, I don't mean one that I did, but I'm talking about there's video out there. You can go on and look for yourself, because that stigma of black people stealing is still there, even with them. But this time it falls onto black women because they are frequent customers. That's all. That's the only place they can really point the blame at. And like I said, there's so many more. But then say protect black women, but still after the protection, you still go and continue to do the things that we're supposed to be, quote unquote, protecting you from. And then say we're the boogeyman. Amazing how that works. So to those of you listening, if you want to know why a lot of black men have checked out from the whole protect black women thing, look no further than the examples I laid out for you in this video. And there's so many more. Because truth be told, many of you do things that is not worthy of you being protected. So when people say, oh, why wouldn't you protect me and everything like that, then you'll have a black man will come back. Well, the only protecting of a black woman I will do is my wife, my mother, any like female relatives. If you have any daughters, them, and that's it. But they act like you should throw the cape on for every single black woman. And many of them are getting out of the habit of doing that because of the examples I gave. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video on that note. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, text the number that is pinned down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video.